Ladies, listen up. Now, I need y'all to pay real close attention because I'm about to give you the key to flipping the script on a man who thinks he can play with your heart. When a man expects you to react with emotion, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. See, men are wired to expect a response, especially when they've done something hurtful. They assume you're going to blow up their phone, send long paragraphs, ask for explanations, or even cry and beg for closure. That's what they prepare for, and in a way, that's what they find comfort in because it reassures them that they still have control over your emotion. The moment you choose silence, instead you snatch that control right out of their hands. Silence is not just the absence of words, it's a statement. It speaks louder than any argument, any emotional breakdown, or any attempt to get his attention. When you stop calling, stop texting, and stop reacting, you're sending a message that he wasn't expecting, that you are in control of yourself, your emotions, and your life. That throws a man completely off balance. He starts questioning things. He starts wondering why you're not reaching out. He starts replaying everything in his head, trying to figure out what changed. And that confusion, that's where your power lies. Most men are used to women seeking closure. They're used to women trying to make things work even when they're the ones who caused the pain. When you remove yourself from that cycle and choose silence instead, it forces him to deal with something he wasn't ready for, his own thoughts. See, silence makes a man sit with himself. It makes him reflect. It makes him wonder if he miscalculated. When you don't text him asking why, when you don't show up in his inbox trying to fix what he broke, it creates a gap. That gap feels like a void, and it starts eating at him. At first, he might act unbothered. He might go out with his friends, post on social media like nothing happened, even entertain other women just to prove to himself that he's good. But give it time. Silence has a way of creeping up on people. The moments when he's alone, when no one else is around, when he checks his phone expecting a message from you and sees nothing, that's when it starts working on him. He starts wondering if you ever cared, if you moved on, if you found someone better. He starts asking himself why you're not chasing, why you're not doing what he assumed you would. That confusion is powerful because now, instead of you being the one trying to figure him out, he's the one trying to figure you out. The hardest part about going silent is resisting the urge to break it. There will be moments when you want to reach out, when you want to explain yourself, when you want to ask questions. But you have to remember that breaking your silence means giving back the power you just took. Every time you check in, you reassure him that he still has a hold on you. Every time you reach out, you give him the satisfaction of knowing he still affects you. Silence removes that satisfaction. It forces him to sit in the discomfort of not knowing. Men are naturally drawn to what they can't understand. The moment you stop reacting the way he expects, you become unpredictable. And unpredictable women are the ones who stay on a man's mind the longest. When a man knows exactly how you'll respond, he knows he still has you. But when you leave him with nothing, when you refuse to give him your words, your time, or your energy, he has no choice but to rethink everything. This isn't about playing games. It's about self-respect. It's about refusing to beg for attention. It's about making it clear that if a man wants access to you, he has to value you. And if he doesn't, then he can sit in his own confusion while you move forward. When a man hurts you, the best response isn't tears, begging, or trying to make him see your worth. It's leveling up. Nothing confuses a man more than a woman who, instead of breaking down, rises higher. He expects you to dwell in the pain, to sit in sadness, to waste your energy trying to figure out what went wrong. But when you shift your focus from him to yourself, you take back control in a way he never saw coming. Focusing on your growth and success isn't about revenge. It's about making yourself the priority. It's about understanding that no setback, no disappointment, no heartbreak should ever slow you down. The best thing you can do after being hurt is to pour all that energy into improving yourself. Work on your mind, your body, your finances, your goals. Use the pain as fuel. Instead of spending hours overanalyzing conversations, take that time to build something for yourself. Instead of crying over someone who didn't appreciate you, use that emotion to create the life you deserve. A man doesn't expect you to move on quickly. He assumes that you'll be stuck, that you'll linger in the past, that you'll struggle to find your way without him. That's why nothing hits harder than showing him, and more importantly, showing yourself that you are perfectly fine without him. Start investing in yourself. Go to the gym, not because you want to make him regret losing you, but because you deserve to feel strong, confident, and healthy. Focus on your education, your career, your business, and your personal development. When a man realizes that losing him didn't break you but built you, he starts questioning everything. Most women make the mistake of sitting in the pain for too long. They let it consume them, letting their lives revolve around what went wrong. But the truth is, the faster you shift your energy, the faster you reclaim your power. When you stop looking at the past and start focusing on your future, you'll notice how quickly things start falling into place. Your mind becomes clearer, your confidence grows, and your self-worth strengthens. The moment you decide to level up, everything changes. You start attracting better opportunities, better people, and better experiences because your energy is no longer tied to someone who didn't value you. A man watches what you do after he hurts you. He may not say anything, but he's paying attention. He's checking to see if you're still stuck on him, if you're still waiting around, if you're still giving him space in your mind. The moment he sees you glowing, thriving, and moving forward, it hits differently. He may act like he doesn't care, but deep down, he's wondering how you got stronger instead of weaker. He starts questioning if he made the wrong decision. He starts realizing that you were never dependent on him for your happiness. You were always capable on your own. Every moment spent dwelling on the past is a moment wasted. The key is to redirect all that energy into becoming the best version of yourself. Read more, learn more, expand your mind. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Travel, experience new things, create new memories. Instead of using social media to check on him, use it to showcase your growth. Not for him, but for you. The real glow up isn't just about looking better. It's about feeling better, thinking better. When you level up, you don't need to say anything. Your success speaks for itself. A woman who is focused on her growth doesn't chase, doesn't beg, and doesn't wait. She moves forward with grace, power, and confidence, and that is the most powerful statement of all. When a man expects you to react with emotions, the most powerful thing you can do is stay unbothered. He is expecting tears, anger, long conversations, or even an argument because that's how he assumes he still has a hold over you. The moment you don't give him that reaction, he starts to second-guess everything. A calm, collected woman who isn't fazed by his actions is the most confusing thing a man can encounter. When you act like he doesn't exist, like his absence doesn't shake your world, it puts him in a position where he starts to wonder if he ever had an impact on you at all. The key to staying unbothered is to truly believe that nothing he does or doesn't do has the power to disrupt your peace. The moment you internalize this, you become untouchable. Instead of overthinking, redirect that energy into yourself. Take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit. Spend time around people who uplift you. Engage in activities that bring you joy. The more you build your life outside of him, the less space he occupies in your mind. Social media is one of the biggest traps when it comes to breaking the unbothered mindset. The urge to check his page, see what he's doing, or even post something to indirectly get his attention is what keeps you emotionally connected. The strongest move you can make is to stop watching. Let him post what he wants. Let him do what he wants. It has nothing to do with you anymore. So the less you engage, the less power he holds over your emotions. When he realizes that his actions no longer affect you, That's when he truly starts to feel the loss. Your energy is everything. The way you think, the way you carry yourself, and the way you approach life all start with the energy you choose to keep. When a man hurts you, the worst thing you can do is let that negative energy consume you. The more you dwell on the pain, the more it drains you. The more you replay the situation in your head, the more it robs you of your peace. The moment you decide to shift that energy into self-love, everything starts changing. A man expects you to stay stuck in a cycle of wondering what went wrong, questioning your worth, and looking for answers that may never come. He assumes his actions will shake your confidence, but the real power move is to show that your confidence was never dependent on him to begin with. Self-love is about understanding that your value does not decrease just because someone else failed to see it. It's about knowing that you deserve more and refusing to settle for less. When you shift your energy toward loving yourself, you stop looking for validation from someone who didn't know how to appreciate you. One of the biggest mistakes people make after being hurt is allowing that pain to dictate how they move forward. It's easy to become bitter, to start believing that all men are the same, to close yourself off from the idea of love completely. But the truth is, when you let pain harden you, you give the person who hurt you even more power. The real strength comes from choosing to heal, choosing to rise, and choosing to love yourself even harder than before. Self-love means pouring into yourself the way you may have once poured into someone else. It means taking care of your mind, your body, and your soul without waiting for someone else to do it for you. The way you speak to yourself matters. After a heartbreak, it's easy to fall into the trap of negative self-talk, blaming yourself for what happened or thinking you weren't enough. But when you choose self-love, you change the conversation. You start telling yourself that you are worthy, that you are enough, that you deserve real love and real respect. You stop internalizing the rejection and start seeing it as redirection. The moment you shift your mindset, your energy follows. Your environment plays a major role in the energy you keep. When you surround yourself with negativity, with reminders of the past, with people who drain you, it's hard to move forward. But when you start filling your space with positivity, with people who uplift you, with activities that inspire you, with habits that make you feel good, you naturally begin to glow differently. The more you focus on self-care, self-improvement, and self-growth, the less room you have for anything that doesn't align with your peace. When you operate from a place of self-love, you stop seeking closure from the person who hurt you. You realize that closure isn't about getting an apology or an explanation. It's about deciding for yourself that you are done with anything that disturbs your peace. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone because you understand that your worth is not up for negotiation. The more you love yourself, the higher your standards become. You stop entertaining people who don't respect you, you stop begging for attention, and you stop settling for anything less than what you deserve. Energy is contagious, and when you move with self-love, people can feel it. They can see it in the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. A man who thought he could break you will be the most confused when he sees you glowing instead. He expected you to fall apart, but instead you became even stronger. That is the power of shifting your energy towards self-love. The power of silence is something most people underestimate. When a man hurts you, the most unexpected and confusing thing you can do is say nothing. He expects a reaction, whether it's anger, pain, confrontation, or even attempts to get closure. He expects to still have a place in your mind, to see some kind of response that lets him know he still matters to you. But when you go silent, when you remove your attention completely, you take away the control he thought he had over your emotion. Silence forces him to sit with his own thoughts, to wonder what you're thinking, to question if he ever really had a hold on you in the first place. Most people assume silence is weakness. that saying nothing means avoiding the situation or not standing up for yourself. But the truth is, silence is one of the strongest moves you can make. It shows emotional discipline, self-respect, and confidence. It means you don't need to explain yourself, you don't need to prove your worth, and you don't need to convince someone to see your value. A man who hurts you expects you to fight for understanding, to demand answers, to beg for clarity. But when you simply walk away and let your absence speak for itself, it shifts the entire dynamic. Silence creates curiosity. The moment you stop engaging, the moment you stop responding, he starts wondering what's going on. He starts checking to see if you're still thinking about him. He starts noticing the difference when your energy is no longer focused on him. It's easy to ignore words, but it's hard to ignore someone's complete absence. That's why silence is powerful. It forces people to confront their own. It makes them question their decisions, replay conversations in their heads, and realize the impact of what they did. It's natural to want to speak up, to defend yourself, to express how you feel, but the reality is, not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not everyone deserves to hear your thoughts or understand what's going on in your mind. The moment you go silent, you take away the opportunity for manipulation. You stop giving them the chance to twist your words, to gaslight you, to play mind games. Silence removes the space for arguments, for back and forth conversations that lead nowhere. It protects your peace, your energy, and your dignity. Most people react emotionally when they're hurt. They want to vent, to talk things out, to get some kind of resolution. But the most powerful people in any situation are the ones who control their reactions. When you respond with silence, you show that your emotions are not easily controlled by someone else's actions. You show that your peace is more important than proving a point. You show that you are in control of your own life and no one else has the power to disrupt that. Social media has made it even harder for people to stay silent. There's always a temptation to post something indirect, to show that you're doing fine, to send a message without actually sending a message. But true silence means no reaction at all. It means no post aimed at him, no checking his page, no responding to his attempts to reach out. It means fully disconnecting and redirecting all that energy back into yourself. The less he hears from you, the more he feels your absence. The less he knows about what's going on in your life, the more he starts to wonder. A man expects a woman to need closure, to want to talk things out, to need an explanation. But when you walk away in silence, you show that you don't need anything from him. You show that your peace is more valuable than any conversation that won't change the past. You show that you have already moved forward and there's nothing left to discuss. That is what truly leaves him confused. Confidence is something no man can ignore. When a man hurts you, he expects you to be broken, to doubt yourself, to question your worth. But when you carry yourself with confidence, when you walk like nothing can shake you, that's when he starts to second guess everything. A confident woman doesn't beg for love, doesn't chase for explanations, doesn't lose herself trying to prove anything. She knows her value, and because she knows it, she refuses to let anyone's actions define her. Confidence isn't just about what you say, it's about how you move, how you show up in life, how you choose to see yourself no matter what happens. It's about knowing that someone else's mistakes don't determine your worth. When you carry that energy, it's powerful. A man who thought he could hurt you and leave you broken will be shocked when he sees you standing taller than before. He will expect sadness, regret, desperation, but instead he sees a woman who knows she's still everything she was before and even more now. Confidence also means having standards and keeping them. It means not entertaining someone who doesn't treat you right. It means not giving second chances to people who didn't value the first one. When a man sees that you won't lower your standards just to keep him around, he starts to realize what he lost. He starts to see that not every woman will tolerate disrespect, that not every woman will settle for less. A confident woman knows that being alone is better than being with someone who doesn't treat her right. She knows that walking away from something that no longer serves her is a sign of strength, not weakness. No man forgets a confident woman. He may move on, he may be with someone else, but deep down, he will always remember the woman who knew her worth, the woman who didn't beg, who didn't break, who didn't lose herself just because he didn't see her value. Confidence is unforgettable. It leaves an impression that no amount of time can erase. And that's why when you carry yourself with confidence, you don't just confuse him, you make him realize exactly what he lost.